It's Monday, November the 4th, 2024. I'm Joey, only Caribou weather dude here up in Wells, British Columbia. Oh, just down the road from Barkerville. Snowing hard here today, just like I said it would. Lots of fresh snowfall warnings in British Columbia, here in the Caribou as well, just like I suggested there would be. Prince George reporting snow today. People up in PG saying driving west is a disaster. Heading out towards Burns Lake is a disaster. Really nasty stuff out there today, and it's all coming to Alberta next. This is the Bad News Show. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Here we are in Canada where nothing interesting is going on anywhere. Well, maybe a little bit by Quebec. There's some freezing rain there, 2 to 4 millimeters. But other than that, you have to go all the way to the west coast here to find things like such. Here we got big wind warning going on. 100 mile, 97. Clinton to 100 mile there. Chilcotin, Stewart, Nechako, Caribou, Lakes District. That could be 70 to 90 kilometer hour winds today. A strong Pacific frontal system will begin pushing into the BC interior this morning. Southerly and southeasterly winds associated with the warm front will create gusty winds Monday morning into the afternoon. However, the winds associated with the cold front are expected to be stronger, bringing strong westerly and northwest winds near 70, gusting 90 kilometers an hour beginning late Monday afternoon, gusting into the night. Gusty winds can damage soft shelters. It could throw snowballs into your head. It could knock your plants off the balcony and into the snow. Why are your plants outside anyways? So despite all the snowfall going on here, we do not have a snowfall warning. So that seems pretty crazy to me, but that's okay. There's other places where there most certainly is going on. Check out this winter storm warning. We'll talk about this one next. This is also for the Coquihalla Highway, Hope Merritt Highway 3, but it includes also the Paulson and the Kootenay passes here. Strong winds and heavy snow. Rapidly accumulating snow and blowing snow will create near-zero visibilities and treacherous driving conditions. What are you doing? Stop driving around, dude. This Pacific frontal system will push into the BC interior this morning. Snow at times heavy is expected to begin for these mountain passes later in the morning before tapering off overnight. Lower elevations will likely see a change to rain by this afternoon, but snowfall accumulations are expected to range from near 20 centimeters at the Coquihalla summit to near 40 centimeters at Kootenay Pass by Tuesday morning. Additionally, strong, gusty, southerly winds will begin this morning and switch to strong westerly winds tonight. The combination of heavy snowfall and strong winds will result in severely reduced visibilities and blowing snow. People are going to lose their minds. So we got gusty winds, snow and blowing snow on the Coke, Merritt, Kamloops, Okanagan connector, as well as Hope to Princeton via Allison Pass today and tonight. 5 to 10 centimeters with higher amounts near the summits there. Additionally, strong gusterly winds. We already talked about that a minute ago. Why would I repeat it? What's this guy right here? This little polygon. Wind warning going on for you as well. So that's gusting up to 90. Fraser Valley East, including Hope today. This write-up calls it a vigorous frontal system. So it's still the same system. It wasn't. They didn't call it vigorous here, but they're calling it vigorous here. 20 centimeters at Coquihalla Summit to near 40 centimeters at Kootenay Pass by Tuesday morning. Good Lord, that's a lot of snow. 40 cents, folks. Special weather statement going on down there in Cloverdale, all this whole sort of corner in southwest BC. Heavy rain, reduced visibilities during the morning rush hour, blah, blah, blah. And over here on the Gulf Coast, strong winds, heavy rain expected there. We got some wind warnings in Victoria, basically 70 to 80. 100 kilometer an hour gusts of wind could be happening along the BC coast. There's some winds like that right now going on, as a matter of fact. The wind warning to up to 110 on the North Island. So it only gets stronger. And finally, Haida Gwaii still seeing gusts up to 110 kilometers an hour. That will gradually ease below the warning criteria later this morning. You'll soon be out of it. The first warnings are going on in Alberta now. We have at near the Saskatchewan border, basically, if that includes Maple Creek. So weird when my phone rings. I don't answer it, so I don't know why it would ring at 7:45 in the morning. I'm making this right now, I think. No, it's 8:02. Still, 8:02. Why are you calling people at 8:02 in the morning? Ridiculous. Heavy snowfall, 10 to 15 centimeters in southeastern Alberta on Tuesday. Localized amounts up to 25 centimeters in the Cypress Hill are possible. Could see strong north winds gusting 80, causing poor visibility and blowing snow. Snow will end and winds will ease Tuesday night. And on the Sask side, we got still a snowfall warning, 10 to 15 centimeters, anywhere to 2 to 5 centimeters of snow, winds gusting 60, 70. Could even see 15 cents by Tuesday evening over the Cypress Hill. Here's where GFS thinks the snowfall accumulations will be strongest. Still got that Pine Pass signal. Still looking down the Rockies, Caribous as well. Down into the Columbias, that should be some of our best snowfall. And over in the Coast Mountains, going to take some really, really heavy snowfall in the higher country there. But then you got a bit of a mix still in the middle that will make some of the passes pretty nasty, although they think up to 40 centimeters down here on the Creston, Selmo Pass and Kootenay Pass, places like that. So, I mean, those are really, really large numbers for a single snowfall. Not out of the question, but interesting, sure. We'll watch that kind of move its way out into Alberta. And by Tuesday, you're going to have kind of a snow event in Alberta. Phil Leroy asking me this morning, if I'm to light the dump on fire, where would the smoke go? And my answer was, don't do it. Don't do it. Not today. No, not with the wind warning coming into effect. That reminds me, if your business ever is functioning and making money because of my forecasting, please do consider joining Patreon or becoming a channel member here, making a donation. It really does make a difference to the quality of the product around here. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on. So we just looked at the snowfall moving through here in BC the next couple of days and over in Alberta. Now we got this next pulse that's coming later in the week, and this next pulse is going to bring very remarkable snowfall rates, I think, and then the possibility of sleet and freezing rain and whatnot. But a lot of that's going to be focused on the Alaska side. It will spill over into the BC side. So it's kind of a secondary story. It will affect some of you out there. So that'll be coming through later in the work week. But when warm-up goes on for BC, going to warm up a little bit here, and you see that precip coming straight in. So it's a very atmospheric river-like, non-stop precip into the north, and it will try its best to work its way down, but not really breaking into the interior, really, is it? No, kind of a nice week ahead if we can get through this nastiness until, well, we're back to the weekend storm track, and here it comes. Bam, a big weekend storm. It doesn't yet look like the interior is going to get much of that weekend storm, but we will see. So here we are Monday, watching it go out. There's why. So we see on this map some of the signals that might make you think, hey, heavy snowfall down there in some of those pockets where the winter storm warnings are in effect and things like that. So it'll take a while to move its way out and into Alberta. And check it out. There's one more look at our imagery of our snowfall system. You can see how when it's coming into Alberta there onto Tuesday, you can see that southeast corner being the area that seems to get it the most. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have some messy roads and sloppiness through the province on Tuesday and whatnot. So Alberta, keep your eyes out for changing weather conditions as you come into the week, especially if you're in that southeast corner. But look at some of these precip totals coming up onto the north coast. So looking like pretty potent system on tap, and we are watching to see what she's going to do next. Let's have a deeper look. Here we are Monday, looking at the big picture, some surface analysis here, plus precipitation going on down still through Texas into Oklahoma, up that the west side of the Appalachia. We still have that severe storm possibility going on there right now. In the North Pacific, high pressure really establishing itself. It's going to try to take over southern BC a little bit. It'll move a little bit, nudge itself in, and help establish a nice flow of warm weather into there. Great Lakes today, seeing some precip. If you go up into Nunavut, a little bit of snow going on there today. Otherwise, not a whole lot of stories in Canada. BC being the place with all the worst weather, like so often we are. Look at this incredible storm up there. That's the one that's going to help lash in to the northern part of the Alaska Panhandle there, coming later this week, right? So this guy, very deep, very strong, sitting up in the Aleutians, not necessarily going to directly hammer us in southern parts of BC. No, it's going to be forced by that high to stay sort of high up in the north there. You can kind of see where the tail of it, though, it's got this atmospheric river-like tail, and in behind comes this new storm developing up. It's helping to feed this new storm, and this new storm deepening. A series of progressive storms, I think, is what they called it yesterday on Avalanche Canada. I think that's a very good description. So we will be looking at next weekend being another event. Seeing as we had the mountain weather forecast back, an intense storm will quickly move across BC coast this morning with strong winds and wet snow. A storm will move across the interior tonight, spreading moderate to heavy precipitation, gusty winds. ridge of high pressure rebuilds across BC, bringing dry conditions. So that's what we look forward to later in the week. Some warmer weather, ridge of warmer weather. Having a look at satellite C, the center of that energy really starting to sit on the Rockies now, sitting on that eastern half of BC, although the low pressure itself is still, although weakened, sitting maybe Prince George or west of right now, right? So you can see how the disruption has kind of happened now. And, to be fair, if you look at the temperatures here inland, and they're quite chilly, and you look at the temperatures out here, and you had a cold front coming through, and I kind of gave you this description yesterday that wasn't completely accurate. Well, it was, but I'm going to give you a better description now. So yesterday I was talking about how here's our cold front coming in, and on the backside your cold front, and here's a parcel of warm air, and it's pushing the warm air up, right? Well, what happens in some cases, because the landform itself is colder than you actually get a shape that's kind of like this, sort of, right? Because here inland, it's cold, right? Here it's cold. Here's the cold front coming in. Well, where does this parcel of air have to go? So you kind of get that impression here today, and that's what helps to weaken this storm as it comes inland, right? It no longer has its cold front is cold as the weather that's already here, so that it quickly weakens this low, right? Whereas when this low is out here, we can just take another guy, for example. This guy out here, he's got a warm conveyor of warm moisture feeding in, and this cold, dry slot in the background. So you can see here's the cold front, right? And you can see here's the warm front, so that here you can see how the cold front is moving through. You can really get that picture how that would happen there, right? When it comes over to the land, though, and then you get this sort of bending, because now the air in the cold front is as cold, or not even, and maybe this air is actually colder in the front here in the interior. That doesn't matter for most of you. It does matter for me. So anyways, you can see how this storm is kind of stalling out now a little bit. Strong winds are coming into the south. You know that could, on the bottom side of this low, could bring some really strong winds into the central interior today, into the Caribou and places like that. A bit of a dry slot. The only dry slot in the whole province may be hitting Williams Lake in the afternoon. All in all, most people seeing some precip somewhere, sometime, somehow. In fact, if we just stop for a second and have a look, nothing too crazy going on, but at the airport in Vanderhoof, it's a little bit of snow dusting there. Sure, looks like it's kind of calmed down for a moment right now, but up by Bulkley Valley, snowing harder. Looks like that is continuing to snow. It seems like a pretty good stratus layer of cloud there, so I'm guessing that there's still, it's not done here, but it looks like the ceiling's risen a little bit right now, at least in the Vanderhoof area. A little on the ground in Chetwynd and whatnot, although that's not really been where things are really going on right now. A little bit on the ground, Mackenzie. So I encourage you on your Windy app to really play around with all these things. I like to use Windy a lot just so it gives you a better and better idea what's going on. And hey, for you people out there, here's that low now coming over to Alberta side in time for Tuesday morning. That'll bring that snow on the backside. It doesn't look like extreme amounts, but it will be some amounts, and it will maybe challenge you on Tuesday morning, right? So I put a picture up the other day, and it was like garbage weather, it said, and it had a picture of a bunch of garbage on a road, and on the garbage was a pile of garbage was Donald Trump's head, right? Here's that snowfall picking up Tuesday morning. So really in time for your workday, Southern Alberta on Tuesday, really on time. A little bit of snow through Saskatoon. People being very upset that I put Trump's head there. Like, I thought this wasn't a political thing. And all the Karens are mad. Well, I can't believe you, Donald Trump head in your picture. Why would you put Donald? I unsubscribe. I can't handle one picture of, I'm such a snowflake. I can't handle one joke. I can't handle. Meanwhile, this fucking guy, their Project 2025 plan, and you can read this on page 674 of their ridiculous and disgusting manifesto, their plan is to break up the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Here's that high pressure establishing itself on Wednesday, and you can see how a bit of an atmospheric river flow going up into that Alaska panhandle, some of it spilling over into BC, although for the most part, where everybody lives in the province is going to be very, very nice weather. In fact, temperatures will rebound for the central areas, and you're going to see slightly cooler at night down in southern BC. So these guys want to break up the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and their plan, one of the things they're saying is they want to privatize forecasting services. So the idea would be that guys like me wouldn't have access to this information anymore unless we pay this exorbitant price, right? What they plan to do is defund, deregulate, privatize, break up, and destroy our weather reporting services, right? And this goes along with Trump's ridiculous attitude of like, well, in 500 years the water will come up an inch. Who cares? Who cares? And it's like they can't handle climate change reality. They can't handle data and science and facts. So what they're going to do instead is just remove the facts. That's what they plan to do. That's your Project 2025, right? So for this attack on my living, on all of us, weather reporting keeps us safe, and you think that I just got to say nothing on my channel while everything comes under attack. No, that's not the way it is here. One little picture of Trump's head upsets you too much, Snowflake. Like, get fucking real, okay? Like, we can handle jokes, okay? Terrorists, that it looks like... I'm not going to be surprised if we get an atmospheric river-like event into Terrace this week, tailing in behind this. So I think that's our only story to really watch for later in the work week is how will temperatures look and how much precip is going to come into Terrace and whatnot into that northern part of, into that western part of BC. A lot of us getting a pretty nice week, but this will be an event in itself. So I think that's something we'll be talking about more this week as we get into our forecast later, and we'll be talking about the next weekend storm, of course. So a couple days stays in southern BC, and then probably another storm next weekend, as is often been the case here this year. This has been a stormy season here in BC, and we needed it. We needed all this precip. We need every little bit of it we can. The ground has been thirsty and dry. There's been so much drought, and this has been exactly what we needed to get out of that and into a better pattern that maybe could have us see a fire season that's not absolutely ridiculous next year, right? And that's what we need, is lots of moisture in the ground to delay fire season as long as possible. So that's a very short window in which things can really burn in the summer. That's the show for today. Quit dinging my phone, everybody. God, I gotta go. Okay, bye.